What's up? Yep. Okay, we're working. Finally. What's up? Good morning. Oh, November 1st. Happy Halloween. Happy belated Halloween. It's officially not Halloween anymore. Oh, fuck the intros. I should just have someone do an intro for me so I can just go straight into the book. Cause fuck this. Hey, you know what? You know what I will start with? This is what I'll start with. Open my Instagram today, and this is the first thing that pops up. It's a picture of a tweet by Dr. Andrew Huberman. And if you remember Andrew Huberman, he is the neuroscientist, or whatever he actually is. Yeah, neuroscience professor at Stanford. We did the podcast on sleep with him. He made a tweet that says, "Pleasure is not a problem. Dopamine is not a problem. Too much pleasure experienced too often without a prior requirement for effort in order to achieve that pleasure or dopamine is terrible for us. It lowers our baseline level of dopamine and the potency of all experiences." Boom. That's what Andrew Huberman decided to wake me up with today. So that's what I'm going to share with you. It's going to be the baseline for this podcast today. It's 8 o'clock on Monday, November 1st, Mountain Standard Time, and you know what it is. We do this live on Twitch and on Facebook and YouTube on Mondays, and then the podcast goes live on Tuesdays at some time. I've been good about getting it out at like 8 a.m. on Tuesday, but here we are, baby. So if you want to join us live for some live chat, you know where to go. It's under Cadence Podcast. I know I'm not very consistent. The new picture that I got for the podcast is Book Club, but the podcast is still under Cadence Podcast. I don't think my camera's in focus. Oh, that's better. Hey, mashed potatoes. You notice anything new? Huh? You notice anything new this morning? I chopped it off, man. The hair's gone. Well, it's like 90% gone. I went to go get it trimmed, and I asked the lady, "Can I donate my hair? Like, what's the rules to donate hair?" And she said, 10 inches. We need to cut 10 inches off. And so I was like, all right, let's do it. So she measured the 10 inches and just snapped off the ponytail, and then it was way too short. It was way too short well, not too short. It's just shorter than what I wanted. I wanted to cut it back eventually like this. Look, I wanted to be like this sexy e-boy that like drags his, remember dragging your fingers through your hair in high school or I guess that was junior high for me. But it doesn't really fall down. It like comes down a little bit to my neck. I wanted it to come down to my shoulders. So, yeah, I cut the locks, baby. But it makes me look like it's kind of hard with the background, but I did look like a lesbian. I look like a lesbian. Look like the haircut gives. And hey, you know what? I love lesbians. So if you're offended by that, then I'm sorry, but I like lesbians and I have a lesbian haircut. I also look like a baseball player when I wear a cap or when I do this. Oh, yeah, dude. I just got off the pitcher's mound. Screw that, bro. You've always looked like a lesbian, dude. And you've always been 100 years old when you were 6. No one's going to understand what I'm saying. Okay, well, now that that's out of the way, let's just move on. Good morning. Good morning, mashed potatoes. Did you guys end up playing last night? I was in bed at 8:30, and I feel great. I was in bed at 8:30, and I was up at 5, and it felt like the sun is never going to rise. I think it's still dark. I do miss staying up late playing video games, though. How late were you up playing? How late were you up playing? See, I still am. I envy you for being able to, even if you are miserable, staying up late playing and are able to, the fact that you're able to get up and live your life and be a father on a few hours of sleep. I don't know if you hate your life, but I hate my life when I don't get enough sleep. That's why I don't party, dude. I'm over partying. Halloween was awesome, but I'm over partying. I left Saturday night from the party I was at 9. Was in bed by 10. It was awesome. I was up Sunday morning doing yoga and making coffee, and Kayla was coming home at like 10 o'clock, and she had got like 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep. Anyway, doesn't matter. 2 rounds of Val. I do love some Valorant. I want to try that Among Us game on Cold War. I've been over partying since sophomore year. I know, but there's so much. But all people just want to hang out. Here's what why don't we just start partying at 5 or 6? Let's start partying earlier. And I know Shy Gamer Girl says this all the time too, but it's so true. Why do we have to start partying at 9? Let's start partying at 5. Let's get together at 5, eat dinner, And whoever wants to get fucked up can get fucked up, and then sober up by 9, and then go home and get a full night's rest. Why do we have to stay up till 2 a.m.? Like, what's the point? What are we doing here? Yeah, I'm over it. I never liked the school dances. I did like staying up late in high school. I did like, because I didn't care. But I did care. I was depressed in high school. All right, we're going to jump right into this. Today's book, The E-Myth. The E-Myth Revisited, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It, by Michael E. Gerber. Michael Gerber is a true legend of entrepreneurship. Inc. magazine called him the world's #1 small business guru. He is the co-founder and chairman of Michael E. Gerber Companies, a group of highly unique enterprises dedicated to creating world-class startups and entrepreneurs in every industry and economy. A company that transforms the way small business owners grow their companies, blah, 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 and has evolved into an empire over its history of nearly 3 decades. Yeah, this book's kind of old. It's like, this is the revised version. This one was copyright 1995. And I don't know when the original was made, but he does mention in the book Michael E. Gerber Companies, his entrepreneur companies, started somewhere in the 70s. So, outdated? Maybe. It's funny. It's good to have that kind of context when I read these books, because I don't know what the world was like in 95, but I don't know how much business has changed, how much economics has changed since. I know that social media has changed a whole lot of how business is done and technology, but I don't know how much. So I don't know how much of books like this and the 4-Hour Workweek that was written in early 2000s. I don't know how different how evolved the philosophy has become. Yeah, I don't know any of the modern books that go like this. I don't know many. Maybe I just haven't looked hard enough. It's a great book though, dude. This book got me pumped up. It was like an 8-hour listen, and I think I got it done in 2 days because it was right up my alley. Why most small businesses don't work and what to do about it. And the premise as I'll go into is okay. Well, maybe I'll just get into the book. But before I do, Mashed Potatoes made a really good point about partying, because I think there's a delay to the stream and he has to, he's just playing catch up. He's contributing, but he's like a minute behind. He said, "My idea of party is a nice dinner with a good convo." Amen, brother. Amen. Dinner at 6, and you hang out for a couple hours, and then let's go home at 9. And then and if you want, you can play video games at 9. But I don't want to stay up late anymore. I'm over it. And for anyone who's listening, any of my friends that are listening, you already know this. But it's just I don't want to go to the bars. I want to host parties at my house, but I don't want anyone staying here after 9 o'clock. Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying? All right, that's enough. All right. The E-Myth. The E in the E-Myth stands for entrepreneur. So the entrepreneur myth is the idea that the myth is that that all entrepreneurs are people who invest capital into businesses for profit, invest their capital for profit. And Michael says this is a myth. He says most entrepreneurs in America are actually technicians of a company or of a skill who don't want to work for a boss anymore and go into their own business. He thinks this is the majority of entrepreneurs in America in 1995. And the problem, and then he shares some statistics. He says, I didn't write it all down, but 80% of small businesses that last 5 years will fail in the next 5 years. So the point of this book is to explain why this happens and how to avoid it. There's four principles. Four principles of the book, 4 parts. The E-Myth, the turnkey revolution, which is, we'll talk about it. The E-Myth, the turnkey revolution, the business development process, and how businesses are systemized or systemization. So part 1, the E-Myth and the American small business. So that thing that I shared, entrepreneurs are technicians who are good or great at what they do and no longer want to work for someone else. The fatal mistake that these technicians make going to business is, if you understand the technical work of a business, you understand the business that does this technical work. That's false. If you understand the technical work of a business is not the same of the business as the business of the technical work. So the labor of a job of a business is not the same as, right? Do you see the controversy there? That's chapter 1. Chapter 2, the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. 3 characters inside each business person, or inside all of us: the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. And honing in our skills on each of these, understanding their roles, is vital to. You see why I love this? Because I'm the technician trying to turn business owner, and my whole life has been focused on. My whole business life has been focused on being the best technician, but being a business owner requires not equal parts of technician, manager, and entrepreneur, but the ability to know when which person is playing, or how they're playing their role and when. And eventually, the whole point of the book is understanding each role, defining each role, and then being able to systemize it so other people can step in, so you can step out. That's the whole point of the book. The entrepreneur lives in the future. They're the innovator, the grand strategist. They need extraordinary control of people and events in the present. They create havoc for those around them. The manager lives in the past. They're pragmatic. They're the planner. They're organized. They cling to the status quo, and they clean up after the entrepreneur. And the technician lives in the present. They're the doer. They are the happiest when they are in control of the workflow. This is very true. They're not interested in ideas. They're interested in procedures. They want to accomplish tasks. They don't want to come up with new tasks or new ways to do a task. They believe a business is nothing more than the aggregate work done in it. So he says the typical person that goes into business is 10% entrepreneur, 20% manager, and 70% 70% technician. Because being able to see the work that needs to be done and doing it, at least to me, and I would say for most people, is easier to comprehend and to apply than understanding all of the intricate parts that move in a business to keep it alive and that make it functioning and prosperous to grow. It's easier as a carpet cleaner, it's easier to see what needs to be done as a carpet cleaner, but it's not as easy to see how a carpet cleaner gets business, how they get new customers, hold customers, and so on. So this is chapter 2. Chapter 3, the technician phase, infancy. The whole book is based on a story around a girl named Sarah who owns a pie shop, and I think it's a true story, but it doesn't seem like it's a true story. But it's about this girl, Sarah, who is really good at baking pies, and she is the same. Her friends were like, "You're so good at baking pies, you should open a pie shop." And so she does, and she bakes killer pies, but her business is failing and she works 80 hours a week and she's depressed. And she's like, I'm really good at making pies. Why does my business suck? And so Michael Gerber comes in. He steps in to be the hero, and he tells a story. He explains all of these principles. So each principle that we talk about is part of the allegory. And so I took a few notes from the allegory, so we can get. I think I can get through this pretty quick, but I'm just trying to bring some context into this. Infancy, chapter 3. The technician starts the business. They are great at performing. Initially, they do really well. They get more business and become overwhelmed. Quality diminishes and customers become unhappy, which is where most small businesses fail. If a technician provides an excellent service or product, customers will demand that technician. The counter is having a business that develops the same product or service at a high quality, so a customer doesn't need to demand a specific person. And it's I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I'm not gonna toot my own horn. In fact, I'm gonna go the other way. When the White Glove started, it was advertised initially with my dad and I, and under Rob Kelly's name, and we got a ton of old customers from 20 years ago calling, looking for Rob. And when I showed up, they were like, "Where's Rob?" That's exactly what he's talking about. My dad built an awesome carpet cleaning company 20 years ago, but he was the only carpet cleaner, and he did a hell of a job. So he got a ton of awesome customers, loyal customers that are willing to call 20 years later. And the business that my dad had was centered around him and his ability. So the way you avoid that, because when I show up, some people are going to be hesitant to let me in, and because they don't know how good of a carpet cleaner I am. And guess what? I'm just as good. If not, I'm better. And the way you avoid that is by building a business with an awesome business, and that doesn't rely on awesome people. Most businesses that don't develop this concept die at infancy. That's chapter 3. Chapter 4 is adolescence, getting help. No one cares about your business as much as you do. Hiring out of abdication is a new word to me that means disowning, abdication. Hiring out of abdication rather than delegation will result in constant dissatisfaction from new hires. No one cares about your business as much as you do. So if you don't have a clear plan for new employees, then you are going to have if they show up and you don't have a clear plan for them, or you don't establish their position, it's just going to be a continual cycle of dissatisfaction. That's chapter 4. Chapter 5, beyond the comfort zone. Let's see. I took a quote. He said, "Businesses who get small again will die. The owner's primary job is to prepare themselves for growth. Define the future and prepare for the best and worst case scenarios and everything in between. Any plan is better than no plan." Yeah, beyond the comfort zone. So you make it through infancy. You hire people to help you out of your business. But if you don't have a clear plan, they're either going to quit or you're going to fire them. And then what he's saying is, when this happens, without a clear plan, your business is likely to fail. Getting small again sucks. Instead, we're going to develop a system. Technician boundaries, how much That's chapter 5. Chapter 6, maturity and the entrepreneurial perspective. Let's see. The entrepreneurial model, a model of the business that fulfills the perceived needs of a specific segment of customers in an innovative way. It looks like I took notes on how to be a good entrepreneur. Sees the business as a product for the customer among other businesses. The entrepreneurial model has less to do with what's done and more to do with how it's done. The way a commodity is delivered is important, not the commodity itself. Find a problem in the market and come up with a solution. Yeah, I don't. That was it for chapter 6. Entrepreneurs are, yeah, a huge. The huge part of this is the entrepreneur will see the business as the product rather than the service or the product as the product or as the commodity. So um, the technician will see the product or the service as the business. The manager, the entrepreneur will see the business as the commodity, and then the manager takes care of everything in between. That's the whole of part 1. A good entrepreneur will set the business up to be the product. And examples that are used all the time in the book are McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Disneyland, and FedEx. All companies that are massive and from 1995 to now have become even bigger. They are not. It's not just what these companies are providing; it's the company itself. McDonald's isn't so popular because of their burgers. They're popular because of their system. And for those of you who haven't seen the what's the movie Kroc? The movie about McDonald's. It's Ray Kroc's story. How he found the McDonald's brothers and then turned McDonald's into a franchise. The McDonald's burgers isn't the product; it's the franchise. The McDonald's franchises is what makes McDonald's so wealthy, so valuable. It's not the fucking Big Macs or the chicken nuggets, but that's the product. A technician will see the Big Macs and the chicken nuggets as the commodity, but an entrepreneur will see the franchise, will see the brand of McDonald's as the product, and they sell the product. They sell McDonald's, the business. Anyway, that's the point. And that's okay. So then that's the segue to part 2, the turnkey revolution, a new view of business. The turnkey revolution is being able to turn your business into a franchisable system. Let me get some coffee. Oh, yeah. I have not had a Big Mac in a long time, mashed potatoes, but I do get the chicken nuggets every now and then. I used to get Big Macs all the time, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The McDonald's is a killer product, but you're missing you're missing the point. You're missing the point. No, you have to have a good service and a good product to keep a business alive. I can't be a shitty carpet cleaner and have an amazing brand. I have to provide an excellent service and excellent products to keep my business alive. But the entrepreneur will see the business, the model of the business as the product. I think you get it. I think you're just trying to harass me. When's the last time you had a Big Mac, huh? Let's talk about the turnkey revolution. The true product of a business is the business itself, not what it sells, how it sells it. Yep. The franchise prototype. That's what this whole part is about. A business as a product only works with perfectly predictable components that can be tested in a prototype long before being launched into full-scale production. Yep. That's exactly what I was just saying. Chapter 8, the franchise prototype. Here's some more stats that he gives. This is from 1995. 80% of all businesses fail in the first 5 years. 75% of all businesses with the franchise format succeed in the first 5 years because of the franchise prototype. And maybe that's just him selling his business at making your business franchisable. But that's the stats that he gave, and that's what I wrote down. Chapter 9 is called Working on Your Business, Not in It. And this is something that rings true to me continually. Your business is not your life. The primary purpose of your business is to serve your life. Can't say it any clearer. So here are the rules of the franchise game. The model will provide consistent value to your customers, employees, suppliers, and lenders beyond their expectations. The franchise will be operated by people with the lowest possible level of skill necessary. That allows more people to be eligible to serve in your company. Because if your company demanded highly trained and professional people, they will demand more pay and blah, blah, blah. Just like how McDonald's doesn't, you don't need to have a master's degree to work at McDonald's. The system is very so concise that anyone that with basic understanding of rules can follow them and let McDonald's succeed. That's number 2. Number 3, your franchise will stand out as a place of impeccable order. All work in the model will be documented in operations manuals, will provide uniformly predictable services to customers, and will utilize a uniform color, dress, and facilities code. And a note that he makes that I don't know if I ever wrote it down is the point isn't to ultimately franchise your business. The point is to create your business to be franchisable. So if you want to step away from it, or if you want to expand it, you have the whole blueprint to get it done. I mean, that's where I don't necessarily want to make a million white glove franchises. I just want to be able to create a business that is sustainable without me. And it's by having a predictable system that can be operated clearly and concisely with the lowest skill people possible. Like fucking high schoolers. He tells a story about a hotel in Vegas. Oh, the Venetian. Does that sound right, or is that a hotel? The Venetian. And he tells his experience about going to the hotel, and it was just like the most pleasant experience he's ever had. And he's like, I need to see the manager and pay my respects. And he goes to see the manager, and he's some young kid, like early 20s. And he says, how did you come up with this amazing hotel? And he says, I didn't come up with it. I just implemented the system that my bosses put in. The bosses created the system to make it flawless, pretty much. So the hotel operates based off these rules that a bunch of high school kids or young adults are able to see through, and the business operates flawlessly, near flawlessly. That's the point. That's the franchise system. That's the franchise game. Okay. Here is this. At the end of this is the end of part 2. Summaries so far. Go to work on your business rather than in your business. So go to work on your business and create the blueprint rather than go working in your business and just being the technician or just being the whatever your role is. Go to work on your business. Go to work on your business as if it were the pre-production prototype of a massively distributed product. Ask yourself, how can I get my business to work without me? These are questions to consider if you're in a position like me and want to start a business to see it through successfully, or if you're in a business now and want to create this franchise system. Ask yourself, how can I get my business to work without me? How can I get people to work without my constant interference? How can I systemize my business so that it can be replicated 5,000 times and run as smoothly as the first? How can I own my business and still be free of it? How can I spend my time doing the work I love to do rather than the work I have to do? These are fucking questions I ask myself every day before I even read this book. And I still haven't done, I feel like I'm doing a lot, but there's a whole lot that goes into all of this shit. These are excellent questions to consider every day. even if you're in a business, like if you work in a job, I know Mashed Potatoes loves his job, and this a lot of these principles can be applied even if you're not starting your own business. It's just kind of like basically you could take control of your life however you need. I mean, are you happy? If you're not happy where you're at, what do you got to do to get to a happier place? But these questions they're specific to people that want to be free from their daily labor and go to work on things that they care about or that they're passionate about. Good soup. Part 3, building a small business that works. Chapter 10, the business development process. There are 3 parts to the business development process: innovation, quantification, orchestration. Innovation is meaningful. Meaningful innovation always takes the perspective of the customer. All meaningful innovation needs to be quantified so you know if it works. And the way of doing something, orchestration is a way of doing something habitually. Orchestration is the elimination of discretion or choice operating on the results of innovation and quantification. Orchestration produces the results you want for yourself and for your customer every single time. I do love that point where orchestration is the elimination of discretion or choice operating on the result of innovation or quantification. The example that he gives in the book is the statistics of successful salespeople, the success of salespeople that wear blue suits versus orange suits. And I didn't write the statistics down. I'm just remembering this. Salespeople that wear an orange suit, like fucking Dumb and Dumber, have significantly less sales than people who wear blue suits. And he talks about the biology of humans are attracted to certain colors and certain shapes and certain wordings and body postures and things like this. So this is innovation. Innovation is taking steps to make your product or service more appealing to a customer, close more sales, get more business. And wouldn't you take these steps to get more sales than wouldn't you take these steps? Yeah, I think about in my own business that White Glove did no research on our logo or our name or our uniforms. We don't have a written out script for sales, but this is what he means. If there's a phrase or if there is a uniform or a color that you can apply to your business that's statistically more successful at getting business than other ways of doing business, wouldn't you just implement that into your business to be done every single time? I think about this a lot. I think about it a lot, but it's that requires R&D and hiring people to track or I just take a lot of time to track the success rates of certain things. Some of the other books, like The 4-Hour Work Week and 80-20, talk about the same principle. How there's just 80% of your money, of your profit, comes from 20% of your labor. So emphasize that 20% and get rid of the bullshit. Because on the other side, 80% of your labor produces 20% of your income, of your profit. So get rid of that 80% of bullshit and focus on the 20% of successful work. Emphasize it and then replicate it. Systemize it. But you write it in a manual and you live by it. That's one thing I got to say about serving a mission. Everything when you serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, your entire conduct is written in a manual. And I'm sure that everything in the book is in the manuals are statistically more successful than freeballing it all the time. And of course, that's such a subjective experience where you kind of have to improvise in some circumstances. But basically, the uniform is very strict, and it's very consistent, and it's very noticeable. And but I think that contributes to the success of Mormon missionaries. You go to McDonald's, and all the McDonald's employees are gonna have the same uniforms. And he says in the book there's an actual script that most of these companies, that fast food restaurants and franchises, have. So you have the same experience at every fucking McDonald's you go to. But that's the same thing as the missionaries get basically a script for all of the lessons that they teach. Anyway, that's systemizing your business. The 3 parts of your business development process include innovation, quantification, and orchestration. Finding ways that work better than any other way is innovation. Quantify the data to see if it works, understanding the data, and then orchestrating the successful innovations. That's your business development process, baby. Chapter 11, your business development program. Oh yeah, this is awesome. Oh, this is only part 3. There were only 3 parts of the book, by the way. And at this point, we are this is the point where you're 50% through the book. The whole rest of the book is on these 7 steps, which about 4 hours of the book is these 7 steps for your business development program. The 7 steps to understand your business entirely, thoroughly, and your goals and your aims is understanding these 7 steps. Number 1, your primary aim. Number 2, strategic objective. Number 3, your organizational strategy. Number 4, your management strategy. Number 5, your people strategy. Number 6, your marketing strategy. Number 7, your systems strategy. And then the rest of the chapters are on these steps. Your primary aim, chapter 12. This is less to do with your business, and this has more to do with you and how you want your life to go. Consider these. What do I value the most? What kind of life do I want to live? What do I want my day-to-day to look like? What do I want my life to look and feel like? Who do I wish to be? How do I want to be with everyone in my life? What do I want to be doing with my time in 1, 2, 5, 10 years, 20 years? What do I want to learn spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, etc.? And how much money do I need to do all of these things, and by when? This is your primary aim. This is like your deep why, your deep emotional why. Great people create lives actively while everyone else is created by their lives. Great people create their lives actively while everyone else is created by their lives. Your biggest fear shouldn't be losing your business. It should be losing your life, especially to your business. This is your primary aim. What's your goal? What drives you? And I don't want to sit and talk about mine. But these are the questions to consider. This is why do you want to live anyway? Like where do you want the direction of your life to go anyway? It doesn't have to be about your small business. This is you as a person. What do you value most? What kind of life do you want to live? What do you want your day-to-day to look like? What do you want your life to look and feel like? Who do you wish to be? How do you want to be with everyone in your life? What do you want to be doing in 1 or 2, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years? What do you want to learn? And how much money do you need to do these things, and by when? That shit pumps me up. Chapter 13 is your strategic objective. This is everything that will serve your primary aim. Once you are able to answer those questions definitively, now you come up with a plan to serve all of those things. Your strategic objective is a very clear statement of what your business has to do to achieve your primary aim. It is a product of your life. Designed for implementation, not rationalization. The standards here are money and opportunity. How big will your business be? How much money do you need your business to make? And an opportunity worth pursuing. Can your business fill the financial standards you created? This is your strategic objective. What kind of business are you in? Do you this goes more into the commodities and products. A commodity is what a customer walks out of your business with in their hands. But the product is what the customer feels as they walk out. The commodity is what the customer walks out with. The product is how they feel when they walk out. And an example that I think of is Revlon. For those of you who don't know, Revlon is like makeup and hair products and stuff. And Revlon, the CEO, sometime before 1995, says our commodity is makeup and hair shit, whatever. But our product is beauty. Our product is reassurance and self-confidence. That's Revlon's product. That's why Revlon does well. That's what he says. Their product isn't makeup. Their commodity is makeup, but their product is confidence. Their product is beauty and confidence, whatever. So that's your strategic objective. Yep, people buy feelings over items. They buy products over commodities. You buy shit because of how it makes you feel, not just because of the shit. Something to consider. Chapter 14, your organizational strategy or your structured institution. Think through your business as best as you're able for exactly how it is to work. He gives a story about a business that went through the whole system, small business. They just these two brothers managed their business by themselves. They hired on people to abdicate their responsibilities instead of to delegate. Anyway, your organizational strategy is understanding the details of every role in your business, organizing it so everything is clearly defined and every position can be filled without your need to be constantly overwatching. This is your organizational strategy. Your management strategy is this is chapter 15, is a system in your prototype designed to produce a marketing result. So your management strategy is a system in your prototype or in your franchise business designed to produce a marketing result. This is your management strategy. Okay. Chapter 16, I'm going to get some, I'm out of coffee. I need some agua. Last week's episode went so long. It was 2 hours. We're 48 minutes in right now. You know what? The downloads were down the toilet from last. But that was my favorite book that I read so far. I'm bummed out about it. I think the under an hour is like prime time. No, I don't think people like to listen to the long form podcasts, but I love it. I listen to some Mormon Stories podcasts that are 4 or 5 episodes, 4 or 5 1-hour episodes, and that's one interview. So one interview is 4 or 5 hours. Rogan used to do that, but I think his Spotify deal, he has to keep everything down to 3 hours. But still, I mean, anything longer than an hour, I think you lose a lot of people, a lot of interest. Mashed Potatoes, are you still here? Do you listen to long-form podcasts? How long are Pardon My Take episodes? Is that what you listen to that in Armchair Expert, I believe? Because I think under an hour is like the sweet spot. Anyway, just want your feedback. Chapter 16 is your people strategy. I'll read your comment if you ever say something. No worries. Create an environment where doing what you want is more important than not doing it. As a boss, create an environment where the idea of the work is more important than the work itself. 2 hours max, he says. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what mine was. Mine was just about 2 hours, so I don't think a lot of people have that kind of. I listened to Pardon My Take and the Bill Simmons podcast. I don't know Bill Simmons. Is he basketball? Sports podcast only. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I can offer something that's not sports because I don't know shit about sports. I did try watching the Jazz game last night though. That was a good game. It was a good game. Yeah, it was a good game. 2 hours max. Yeah, I try to keep. I think an hour is good. I think people like an hour. Okay. Anyway, thank you for that. Your people strategy. Yes, this is how you manage your people in a business. The whole point is your business environment should be such where doing the work is more important than not doing the work. Also, where your employees are comfortable enough to be themselves and to not feel. It kind of makes me think of like the Amazon stigma of all these people working in warehouses where they have to run from their station to the bathroom. If they get caught walking, they get in trouble or some shit. Like, this is how you manage your people. But you know what? If that's how Amazon manages its people, and Amazon is the biggest company in the world, maybe we should be more like Amazon. I said it. I fucking said it. You need people who believe in your standards, not people who believe they have better standards. Yes, this is one reason why hiring people, this is why you don't need to hire people with excellent qualifications. If you hire people with excellent qualifications, they'll believe that they're more qualified to run your business or that their ideas or their standards are better than yours. You need to hire people that believe in your standards, and they'll only believe in your standards if you believe in your own standards. You need to be confident in your system, implement your system, hire people to believe in your system, and your business succeeds at its finest when the people you hire operate based on your standards. The system produces the results. The people manage the system. It's chapter 16. Mashed Potatoes says people are going to cancel you for saying we need to be like Amazon. Or he says, I will cancel you. Well, I don't care because Amazon's the biggest company in the world. Amazon exploits its employees. Apple exploits people around the world for cheap products, for cheap materials to make their phones only $1,200. This is the broken system that I'm talking about. Are we willing to? Do we want to continue to have same day service which makes the Amazon truck drivers have to pee and poo in their trucks? Or are we willing to wait a couple days to get our packages so they can use the bathrooms properly? Or are we willing to spend double the price of a phone so that we don't have to use child labor in Ethiopia or wherever they're mining the material for the phone? We get is it lithium? The lithium batteries are being mined by child laborers in these countries in Africa. But that's how Apple makes their phones cheap. I do cheap in air quotes because $1,200 is not cheap, but I guess it could be far more expensive. But hey, what are we willing to do as the fucking people of the world? Are we going to continue to exploit these? And then there's sweatshops in China where people are jumping off the building because they hate making iPhones all day for $3 an hour. Are we willing to pay more money so that people are happier? No. Obviously not. People don't, because we don't see it. But it's the same thing that happens with our diet. We assume that there's just food in abundance because there is, because we've developed a system where food is being grown, our produce is being grown exponentially at rates that have never existed, and animals are being massively factory farmed. So we get tons of beef and chicken. And we don't see it. We just see the beef and the chicken in McDonald's and on the grocery stores. But then, shit, it's got very heavy. But that's what that's what the book last week was on, and I loved it. If you like that little, okay, that's where I'm going to leave. If you like that little spiel, go listen to last week's book. We need to create a sustainable planet. And this is part of your. Hey, I'm going to turn it. I'm going to turn this right back into this chapter. Your standards of your business is what's going to motivate people, your employees, to work hard in your business. And if you create a business with these standards that you believe in, if I create a carpet cleaning business that believes in sustainability and fair trade, my employees are going to work really hard. And if they believe in that system, then they're going to love the system, right? There you go. Look how I just turned that super heavy negative thing into how to implement it positively in your business. You create standards that you believe in, and your employees will follow suit. There you go. But seriously, we have at some point we got to do something about slave labor and child labor. So because we don't need same day delivery and let the Amazon truck drivers pee in bags in their vans. I'm pretty sure they got rid of that once it was exploited. But that's the scary thing, is it doesn't go away until it's exploited. All right, chapter 17, your marketing strategy. We're almost done. When it comes to marketing, what you want is not important. It's all about what the customer wants. To deliver a service or product no competitor dares to make. Make promises that your competition doesn't dare to make. This is a huge element. I remember that makes me think about the 4-hour work week, where an exceptional business has exceptional rules and exceptional standards. And the example that he gave in the 4-hour work week was if this company that makes premium French shirts, and if the customer isn't entirely satisfied, they will refund the shirt and they will send them $100. And he says in the book, you think a lot of people would take advantage of your business for having these kind of standards, but it's very few. It doesn't. The ratio of people that actually buy and are happy is, if you provide excellent French premium shirts, then you're going to reach a specific customer, and who is not likely to take advantage of this program or that program. So, if you have excellent standards in your business for a business that is exceptional, then it's just gonna improve your place in the market. That's 17. Chapter 18 is your systems strategy. There's 3 kinds of systems in each business. Hard systems like uniforms, office colors, the colors of your uniforms, whatever. Soft systems, which is pretty much everything you say or write, sales, marketing. And then information systems, this is all your quantifiable data. Understanding how, again, we're going to go back to innovation, quantification, and orchestration. Understanding how your hard, soft, and information systems work, innovate them to produce better results, quantify the data, understand if it's working better or not, and then orchestrate it. Implement it in your business, because it doesn't matter how you feel or your opinions, the data shows that this process or this procedure is successful when it's correctly implemented. So your opinion doesn't matter when the numbers are talking. That's what a system is. That's what an effective system is. That's the book. And then the epilogue, this guy, Michael Gerber, he talks earlier in the book about his personal story. He talks about being married and divorced twice and roaming aimlessly in his life from business to business, moving from house to house, being in debt, and having no goals, no dreams, and then just moving from job to job. And then in one job he learns, hey, none of this is real. Business isn't real. Everyone is just out here trying to just trying to figure it out, trying to get paid. Everyone wants to get paid. That was Michael Gerber. That's what started his businesses. That's where the E-Myth came from. You have the concept that entrepreneurs are people that intentionally invest capital in businesses to make a profit is not true. The E-Myth is just people that work and live life and move from job to job and eventually become sick of working for the man, or want freedom. They want their time back. They want to pursue passions, so they start their own businesses. But then when they do, they often fall victim to the trap, which is being the technician of a business without having a manager or without having an innovative entrepreneur. So that's what his business is. In the epilogue, I took a note. I said, the heart of small business is removing ourselves from a corrupt world and starting over. We cannot change the world. We can only change ourselves. And that's where we go right back into Amazon and Apple. And probably pretty much all of the big companies probably, because there's so much bullshit in the world. This is 95 too. He said this in 95. The world is corrupt, but there's nothing we can do to change the world. We can only change ourselves, and we can implement good companies with good moral values, and influence the market that way. The sad truth is there will always be people that are okay, like not just being naive and ignorant to the fact that there are people enforcing slave labor to do this, and I'm not like the most educated person in the world. I mean, I can't say that with full confidence, but I do know that I do know the things that I hear, some of the things that I read. I don't, I'm all I'm saying, I don't study the world of work and business. I just read these books. I listen to podcasts. I try to stay informed and aware of the world that we live in. And yeah, when Amazon was exploited in their code, in their business system was have bags in the vans so that the truck drivers didn't have to stop to pee or poo. They had this, their system was have bags so they could pee or poo in their van. And then that was exploited and then it was done away with. Like, you hear shit like that, and it makes you think how much bullshit is happening in the world to make the world run the way it is. All you can do is implement an honorable an honorable company with high morals, high ethics, and if you do it right, if you have an excellent company and you do it right, your systems are in line. All of these things, your business development process is secure, all of it, then you can change the world around you. You could do positive things. It's important to me to do the right thing for the world, and if I want White Glove to do that, I can implement a system where White Glove is sustainable, fair trade, whatever. All of those good things. So that's the book. That's the E-Myth. Why most small businesses don't work and what to do about it, by Michael E. Gerber. He narrated the book on the audiobook too. And he was really good. He's got a very compelling, powerful voice. Here's his picture. Anyone who wears a fedora in their profile picture is immediately a badass. Is that Bob Ross in the comments? Thank you. Thanks, Bob Ross. Thanks for showing up. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to wrap this bitch up because keeping it at an hour, I think, is really good for the podcast. Like I said at the beginning, I do this live, 8 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Streamlabs, Twitch, and then it goes posted to Spotify and Apple Podcasts later on Tuesday. So come join live. You can Mashed Potatoes. You're here every week. You're the bomb. Some other people come in and out, and that's great. Is White Glove in the market for a land surveyor? Please, my child is starving. Hey, I hate to hear that about your child, and it sounds like if you have any more kids, then you're not doing so well. But hey, I'll take on a land surveyor. Fuck it. Yeah, we'll create our own market for carpet clean. We'll carpet clean your house. We'll clean your carpets and we'll survey your property. That'll sell. And we're not even going to try to quantify that data. We're just going to go straight for the orchestration. Look at us, dude. Look at us go. Thanks for showing up, everyone. All right. And remember, what Dr. Huberman says at the beginning of the podcast, pleasure is not bad and dopamine rushes are not bad, but getting those things without exerting any effort is really bad for us because it lowers our standards for pleasure. So hard work with pleasure as the reward has always been really good for us. So go work really hard. Go do something challenging. Wake up early, go to the gym, or eat really well, or go for a long walk, or take 30 minutes to talk to your spouse or a loved one, or go to your parents' house. Do something meaningful, and the reward is far better than any shallow pleasure like social media. So, or fast food. Bam. That's how we're gonna end it. And also, we're gonna be like Amazon, but we're gonna be like a better Amazon. That's a fact. All right. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week on November 8th for more podcasts. Adios.
だけが読み直している